We mentioned in the past couple of days, in the past couple of classes, what is so unique about a mitzvah of Torah? What is a mitzvah of Torah different than a promise of Torah or a regular prophecy of Torah? The uniqueness of a mitzvah of Torah is that it must be fulfilled. It's not possible for it to change. It's one with Hashem. Even if a good prophecy will take place, it's not that it's not possible to change. It technically doesn't change, but the Torah, because it's part of Hashem, Torah and mitzvah is part of Hashem, so it doesn't change. And even in not changing itself, there could be not changing by ruchnius or not changing by gashmis. The uniqueness of a mitzvah of Torah is that it's not possible to change, and it must be fulfilled literally. This shows us what's so special about this, that the Rambam brings a proof from Mashiach from a mitzvah of Torah. What's so special about it? There's many places in Torah that it speaks about Mashiach. Why does the Rambam need to bring out that the Torah, and not only the Torah in general, the mitzvahs of Torah? Why does the Rambam need to bring out that the mitzvahs of Torah speak about Mashiach? What's so special to emphasize it? Because this makes that the coming of Mashiach has the same level of a mitzvah of Torah. It says when Eretz Yisrael is going to get bigger,
the mitzvah is to remember Mashiach?
The mitzvah, the Torah says that when Eretz Yisrael gets bigger, you're going to need to add three, when Mashiach comes, you're going to need to add 3 more cities of refuge. You're going to need to add 3 more cities of refuge when Eretz Yisrael gets bigger. So, that makes the Geula a detail and a part of a mitzvah of Torah. The only way you can fulfill this mitzvah is if Mashiach comes. So just like this mitzvah needs to be fulfilled literally, just like adding the 3 cities of refuge is not some spiritual thing. You can't say a mitzvah means some mashal, some riddle. A mitzvah means literally. So too, to put on this, to add cities of refuge, which is going to take place when Mashiach comes, is literally, Mashiach is literally going to come by Gashmius, and he's going to add 3 more cities of refuge literally by Gashmius.
It's not going to last though, because after Mashiach comes, it's only a matter of time until everyone lives forever and should be immortal. It's not going to be a point anymore.
It could be that there's no need to use the cities of refuge, but they're still going to be there.
It's going to be irrelevant. People are going to forget about it. It's going to be a forgotten detail. Who's going to care? No one's going to die.
It's more of, it's not only the physical idea of Ari Mikkel, it also has a deeper meaning. The whole idea of Ari Mikkel is that it's a kapara, it's a atonement, it takes away the sin that someone has done by sitting in a city of refuge. It erases any avedus. So
not a willful sin, but a pesha, only
a mistake. If someone did a mistake, but killed someone b'shoigig, so by him sitting in cities of refuge, it erases his aveda. Okay, let's continue. We're going to see later that the whole idea of redemption is compared to a city of refuge. Al pi kol anal yesh lavar atam sharabam meisif haray al melech HaMashiach maho she'af bari mikla to eimerim yarchiv yasafta u'meilum lehoy davar zev litziva kadosh baruch hu. According to all what we mentioned before, we can explain the reason that Rambam adds the proof for melech HaMashiach from the cities of refuge, right? If we remember, we asked in the beginning of the class that Rambam brings a proof from this that Hashem is going to return everyone to Eretz Yisrael from Parshas Nitzavim. He brings another proof from Parshas Shoftim, from Parshas Bilam, that there's a prophecy about the 2 Mashiachs. Why does the Rambam need to add a 3rd proof from Parshas Shoftim regarding the cities of refuge? So like today, like we said, the Rambam the intention of the Rambam to add the cities of refuge, the proof that Mashiach is going to come from the cities of refuge, is not just to add another place in Torah where it speaks about Melech HaMashiach, the coming of Melech HaMashiach. That's not the point of the Rambam, just to add another place, because there's many places. Rather, there's something extra special and unique in this specific proof. That's why the Rambam adds it, and that's why the Rambam adds it in a separate halacha. The Rambam is coming to bring out a new understanding in the severity of someone that does not believe in the coming of Mashiach. that Rambam is coming to bring out that someone that doesn't believe in the coming of Mashiach is not only denying in a promise that the Torah says, that the Torah speaks about. He's not only denying and saying that a certain promise of the Torah won't be fulfilled and won't take place. It's not only that, but it's even deeper than that. This person is erasing, deleting, taking away a mitzvah of Torah. He's saying this detail of the cities of refuge, that we're going to need to add 3 more cities of refuge in the parts of Eretz Yisrael that gets bigger. It's never going to take place. What does that mean in other words? That this part of the mitzvah is going to be deleted and erased. He's saying a part of the Torah and mitzvahs will be deleted and erased. And if someone deletes a part of a mitzvah of Torah, he says it won't be fulfilled, this person is called a Badai, a Rasha, an Apikoides. ולכן כוסף הרב מראי זו בהלכה בפני עצמו כי בשתי הרייסה רישיינס כוונוסי להכרח דמישיינים מאמין בי כפר בתרא ומשה רבינו שראה התרא העיד עליו הרייסה זו בלרם is על חמר נסף בדין זה שהוא גרע ממצוות התרא. So therefore the Rambam writes this proof in a separate halacha. Why? Because in the first 2 proofs, the Rambam's purpose is to bring out that if someone doesn't believe in the coming of Mashiach, he is denying in this that the Torah in general witnessed about the coming of Mashiach. And this proof that Rambam is coming to add a whole new, how severe it is, a new understanding, a new thing that you don't have in the first 2 proofs. The severity of denying the coming of Mashiach from the first 2 proofs is not the same what he adds in the 3rd proof. What you have only in the 3rd proof, and it's a new severity, is that this person is taking away from a mitzvah of Torah. Now, the Rebbe says we still need to understand that if this person is denying in Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu, what does it add? This, that he is taking away from a mitzvah of Torah. If the person is denying in Chamishi Chumshei Torah and in Moshe Rabbeinu, what does it add? This, that he's taking away from a mitzvah of Torah. Isn't that enough that he's Kaifer B'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu? Aval according to what we mentioned before, we can explain that there is a nafkamina l'dina. It makes a difference l'dina over hektim. Bir dinoi shall ha'omer she'enei ma'amin ba'gula asido lovei mipnei she'sefer she'av sheftuchanu ala gula chol b'zeh shinoi v'nizbat l'aftacha zu mipnei achet v'kayetze b'zeh. ועל דרך דעת רבי הילל שאין לה משך לישראל שכבר אכלו בימי חזקיה שסוף שגר מחית אף שתר אידולה ודברי הנביאים כל הספרים מלאים מדבר הזה. Right, what's going to be the din if someone says that he doesn't believe the Gula is going to come, he doesn't believe Mashiach is going to come? Why? Because he holds that the Jewish people have sinned, and because the Jewish people have sinned, Hashem backed out Kiviyachla, and he says, you know what, he's taking away this promise. He's not going to bring the Gula. So this person is not denying at all in the coming of Mashiach. He doesn't care what the pasuk says. He believes in the psukim of the Torah. He believes in Chumash. He believes in Hashem's promises. But he says that you didn't did Avedis, and therefore the Gula won't come. Like Reb Hillel. Hillel said there's no Mashiach. What did Hillel mean by saying that there's no Mashiach? He said the Gula is not going to come through a Melech HaMashiach. Hillel held that the Gula is going to come through Hashem himself. The question is, the Torah speaks so much. He said he believes that Hashem is going to bring the redemption by himself. Why does he say that the Gula is not going to come through Melech HaMashiach? It's going to come through Hashem himself. Hashem is going to be the king. Hashem is going to be the Mashiach. Without the person Melech HaMashiach, Why does he say? So he says the Yidden have sinned, therefore the Gula will not come through Melech HaMashiach, will come through Hashem himself. Even though God promised that he's going to bring the redemption through Melech HaMashiach, and it's Psukim in Torah, but what did Hillel say? Nevertheless, Yidden did sins, therefore it's not going to come through Mashiach. What if someone takes it a step further? And he says not only because they didn't sin, so even though God promised he's going to bring this through Mashiach, it's not coming through Mashiach because of Hashem's sins. So the guy's going to take it a step further and say the Gula in general is not going to happen. Chas v'shalom. Why? Because the Jewish people have sinned. What if someone's going to say such a thing? Could you call this guy a kofer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu? Could you call this guy a denier in the 5 books of Moses, denier in Moses? This person believes in Torah. He believes in Moshe Rabbeinu. He believes in everything that the Torah promised, and he says, yes, I know what it says in the Chumash, I believe in it, but it's not Hashem's fault, it's our fault. We have sinned, therefore it won't take place. If someone says so, could you call this guy a denier in Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu? Is he denying in Torah? Is he saying this psukim are baloney? No, he believes in the psukim in the Torah, but he says we have sinned, therefore it won't take place. Yeah? So the Rebbe says, L'cha'oira, you cannot call this person a kofer b'Torah for Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because he's not denying in this pasuk. He's not saying this. He doesn't believe in these psukim. He just believes that we have sinned. He holds we have sinned, therefore it won't take place. Sh'l'chadei efshar leimar alav shekofer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu she'Torah ida alav shekavana b'zeh shekofer b'dovar ha'mefurish b'Torah shebiksav nizkero b'tchilas hasicha she'einei kofer b'avtacha ha'ksuva b'Torah ad asvira lei shekam al avtacha kazu shayched in acharata but tzarachin im yesh leidin kofer b'Torah shebal peh. The Rambam is saying that this guy is a kofer not in the Gemara. He's not a kofer in the Chachomim. He's not kofer in the things that we accepted. The Rambam says he's kofer in the Chumash. He's kofer in Pashta Pshat. Even parts of the Torah, right? There are things, that the tzdukim moedim, even the tzdukim, even the people, certain people that they only believe in Torah Shebiksav. The Rambam says even then they believe they can. Even in Pashta Pshat and Chumash it speaks about Mashiach. Clearly it speaks in Chumash about Mashiach. He says the simple meaning, the Pashta, you have psukim that speak about Mashiach. He holds that it's not going to happen because we have sinned. Maybe now it can be that the Chachamim in the Gemara, whatever, explain. It can be that the Chacham Yisrael and the Gemara explain clearly that even that it's not possible for us to do Avedas and this psukim not to be fulfilled. So that's Torah Shemal Peh that explains the pasuk in Torah Shebiksav that it must be fulfilled.
What's the pasuk?
That says Mashiach is going to come. Hashem is going to return everyone to Eretz Yisrael. And Parashas Nitzavim. Hashem is going to. It says clearly Hashem is going to return everyone to Eretz Yisrael. So the Rambam. Could you call this guy a kofer in Chumash? Or you could call this guy a kofer in Torah Shebal Peh? The Rambam is coming to bring out that he's kofer in Chumash. Not that he's kofer in Chacham Yisrael, in Torah Shebal Peh. That's the point of the Rambam over here. Maybe if a guy says we did sins, and therefore Mashiach is not going to come. Chas v'shalom. He says we did sins, Mashiach is not going to come. Is this guy kofer in Chumash? No. Why not? Because he believes in the psukim in the Chumash. He just says we have a sin, therefore it won't take place. It can be that he's kofer in Torah Shebal Peh, that they say that it has to be fulfilled anyways for other reasons. But that's a kofer in Torah Shebal Peh, maybe, but not in Torah Shebiksav. The Rambam is coming to bring out that he's kofer in Torah Shebiksav. He's kofer in Chamisha Chumshei Torah. This guy that says the Gula is not going to happen because of our sins, he's a kofer in Torah Shebal Peh, not in Torah Shebiksav. From the first proof. And the second proof, from Parashas Nitzavim and V'shav Hashem Elokecha Shvuscha. Aval Kevin Shaguli Prat V'Geder B'Mitzvahs HaTorah Asher Mitzvah Imadas L'Eilam L'Eilam Eilamim. שזה משליח שהיא אפשר להשאיר חס ושלום בהבטחת הגאולה. הרי באמרי ההפך מזה יש עליו דין כופר בתורה, כי אף שמיימן שהציר מביאים ירחה וגמר וספנה גמר. ומן השמיים, הרי באמרי שהסברת על פרט זה דן מצווה כופר כבר בוטל תורה זו, הרי הוא כופר בתורה. So this is the uniqueness that the Gula is part of the mitzvah of Ari Miklat. What's so unique about this that the Gula is a part of detail in the mitzvah of cities of refuge? From this, that the Torah says when the Gula is going to come, you're going to fulfill this mitzvah of Ari Miklat. You're going to need to add 3 more cities of refuge. What does that bring out? What does that show us? That it's not possible for the Gula not to come, even if the Yid didn't sin. A guy can't say the Gula won't come, because what is he saying? If he's saying the Gula is not going to come, what does that mean? That this part of the mitzvah is not going to
come even as we are sinning, or it's going to come once we do tshuva?
We're not getting it. That's not the point. The point is if someone says the Gula is not going to come because we have sinned, yes. So for the first 2 proofs from Parshas Nitzavim, that Hashem will return everyone to Eretz Yisrael, and from Parshas Bilam, you cannot call this guy a kofer b'Torah of a Moshe Rabbeinu. You can't call him a denar to Moshe Rabbeinu because he believes in it, but he holds we have sinned. But if someone takes the mitzvah of Ari Miklat to add 3 more cities of refuge when Mashiach comes, and he says it won't happen. He says Mashiach is not going to come. What does that mean? That we will not fulfill this mitzvah of adding 3 more cities of refuge, which means this guy is deleting a mitzvah of Torah, even though he says because we have sinned. But who cares what the reason is? If you're saying a mitzvah of Torah will not be fulfilled, Mashiach won't come and the mitzvah of Torah will not be fulfilled, this guy is a kofer b'Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. So this is how special this proof from the cities of refuge are. It's the strongest proof. It's stronger than the first 2 proofs. The first 2 proofs, a guy could say, we have sinned and it won't happen. But the third proof from the cities of refuge, a person cannot say, we have sinned and it won't happen. You cannot say a mitzvah won't happen no matter what. A mitzvah of Torah must be fulfilled. There's no way, in any circumstance at all, for a mitzvah of Torah not to be fulfilled. Understand? That's why the cities of refuge is in a separate halacha, because this is bringing out the how important it is and how special the idea of Mashiach is. We can say another difference. What's so important about the cities of refuge in addition to the first 2 proofs? What does it make a difference? A guy doesn't believe in Mashiach. A guy says he doesn't believe in Mashiach at all. So this guy is considered a heretic, even from the first 2 proofs. What do you need to add me to the third proof? So the Rebbe is going to explain why you need this third proof, even though you have the first 2 proofs. Even the guy technically shouldn't be a heretic. If if a guy doesn't believe in Mashiach, so he should be a heretic even from the first 2 proofs. How could it be that the guy is not a heretic, even if he believes in the first 2 proofs and he thinks Mashiach is not going to come physically, and only from the third proof the guy could become a heretic? He explains. ואימר שאיני מאמין בגולה עשיד עליו מפני שמפרש המקרואית של הבטחת התורה שליקים פשוטים. שאימר שהגולה תהיה רק ברוחניס וכייצא בזה. שלכן אי אפשר לומר עליו שכופר בתורה ומשה רבנו, שלימד דמה שכתוב בתורה הוא אמס, אלא שספר שכוונת התורה אין אלא פשטוס אין אלא שליקים פשוטים. וגם אם נמצא למה שזה היבך הכלל דין מקרא יצא בידי פשוטי צריך לדבר של לבר שכל עולב ושיים כופר בתורה ומשה רבנו ושם שמפרש בקרוא שליקים פשוטים. So a guy is going to come and tell you the redemption, all these prophecies about Mashiach doesn't literally mean Mashiach is going to come. It's a mashal. It's a riddle. It's a parable. The Gula is going to come in a spiritual form.
Not the same thing.
No, the first thing is that the guy thinks that the Gula is not going to come at all because we have sinned.
Gula is the same thing as Gula.
No, but the guy says this time we will return to Israel. All the Jewish people will return to Eretz HaKodesh, to Eretz Yisrael. Doesn't mean
Gula. I mean, we go and we are spiritually perfect.
If someone's going to tell you this, that the pasuk says all the Yidden will return to Eretz Yisrael, This that the Torah says all the Yidden will return to Eretz Yisrael, it does not mean that we will literally be Gashmias, physically return to Eretz Yisrael, but it's a spiritual concept. It's a spiritual thing. Eretz Yisrael doesn't mean literally Eretz Yisrael. You know, the Tzemach Tzedek, a chassid told the Tzemach Tzedek he wants to go to Eretz Yisrael. He wants to go move to Israel. So the Tzemach Tzedek told him, Mach do Eretz Yisrael. Make here Eretz Yisrael. Make where you live here and now, turn this place into Eretz Yisrael. What does that mean, turn this place into Eretz Yisrael? To make it Eretz Yisrael spiritually. So the guy's going to say, what does it mean? Mashiach is going to bring everyone to Eretz Yisrael. It means that everyone is going to make their area like Eretz Yisrael, and that's what it means, everyone's going to go to Eretz Yisrael. But we're not actually going to go to the land, Eretz HaKodesh, Eretz Yisrael, Ligvulei Sot, and about the physical Gashmistic Eretz Yisrael. What's if someone's going to say that? What are you going to call the guy? Could you call the guy? The guy believes. I believe in what it says in the Psukim, but it doesn't mean physically. It's not Kipshutai. It's not literally. Is this guy denying in the Pasuk? The guy says, I don't believe in the Pasuk. He believes in the Pasuk, but it's a spiritual. This that the Pasuk says Mashiach is going to come, this that Bilam said a whole prophecy about Mashiach, it means the Mashiach that's inside of every single person. But it doesn't mean physically an actual person, a physical person, that he's Melech HaMashiach, the King Mashiach, that he's going to actually bring everyone to Eretz Yisrael and build the Beis HaMikdash. To build the Beis HaMikdash is a spiritual Beis HaMikdash in the heart of every Jew. If a guy is going to, all what I said is true just now, that everyone has to live a gula. But if a guy is going to say that's the only meaning of it, it does not mean also kipshutai. It means only in a spiritual mashal. That's all what it means. And Mashiach will not come physically. Could you call this guy a denier in Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu? Just from the first two proofs that the Rambam brings from the Shava Sheva Lekecha Shvuscha and Ari Miklat, and Pashas Bilam, not Ari Miklat. Just from the first two proofs. The Shava Sheva Lekecha Shvuscha and the proof of Pashas Bilam, could you call him a Kofer B'Teir from Moshe Rabbeinu? Just from the first two proofs? You cannot, because he believes in the pasuk, but he says it's Baruch Hadis. Maybe we could call this guy there's a klal that says Ein Mikra Yoytze Midei Pshutei. A pasuk cannot be taken out of its simple literal meaning. Yes, you ever heard of such a thing? The guy can't take a pasuk and say it doesn't mean literally; it means something else. Who said this? That you're not allowed to take out a pasuk from its parshat pshat. This is a klal. This is one of the klalim that is brought down in Gemara, etc., that ain't mikra yetzi b'dei pshutei. But if someone is going to come and say, if someone doesn't believe in ein mikra yetzi b'dei pshutei, could you call this guy a koifer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu? Could you call this guy that he's denying in Chumash and in the passage he's denying he's a apikoides? He doesn't believe in Torah Moshe Rabbeinu. You could call him an apikoides in what it says in the Gemara, that they said they'd make it, but this guy believes in the Psukim, but he believes it's a mashal. What the Rambam is saying over here is a guy that doesn't believe in the coming of Mashiach, he's denying in the Pashta Chumash. He's denying in Chumash, he's denying in Moshe Rabbeinu. So, it's not enough to just have the proof from a Shava Shema Lekecha Shvuscha and Pashas Bilam. Because a guy could say that the Gula is going to be Baruch Hadis, and he's not going to be a Kofer B'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. But that's what's so unique about the proof of Ari Miklat from the cities of refuge. Because when you add the cities of refuge as a proof for the coming of Mashiach, what does that mean? That the Geula has to be Begashmius. The simple meaning of a mitzvah needs to be Begashmius. If someone says a mitzvah is not Begashmius, that is a koifer, a bada, yarosha, not bikoides. That's a heretic. That's heresy to say a mitzvah of Torah is not kipshutei. To say promises of Torah Beruchanias. You can't call the guy a Kofer B'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. But to say a mitzvah is not Kipshuli, that's a Kofer B'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. A badi Rosh Rabbi Keres. Av mitzad zeh shaguli prat v'geder b'mitzvah sa'Torah. As ba'omer shagul lo yitiya kipshuta, harei yumeitzi dvarim shel mitzvahs b'pshuton. V'chol olav adin harei ze vadai badoi v'rosh Rabbi Keres. From this, that the gula is a detail and a part of the mitzvahs of Torah. So if a person is going to say that the gula won't be literally, what is he doing? There's a klal, someone that's a moitzi dvarim shel mitzvahs b'pshuton. If someone takes a mitzvah and says that a mitzvah doesn't mean literally, he says a mitzvah means meruchanias, that guy is a rosh Rabbi Keres, a bluffer, a rosh Rabbi Keres. So if a guy is going to say the gula is going to come Beruchanias, and he only has the proof from the first two proofs, he's not a Badei Rosh Rabbi Keres. But only from the third proof, from the cities of refuge,